Hi everybody, it's Carla Bond here, founder of Her Mastery is the New Black. Tracy Seacombe and I are trying to get together and do an interview with you, but we're just having a few technical difficulties getting it all started. So please bear with us while we see if we can get each other on here. I'm just crossed for us, please everybody.
Hello.
Looks like Tracy's connecting. Hello, we did it. How are you?
I'm great, Carla. Thank you so much for joining me on this live interview. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tracy Seacombe, the founder of Soul Pleaser, helping women to discover their true self so that they can follow their soul's calling and serve humanity. And that is what Carla is doing. So I'm very, very excited to have you here today, Carla. Carla, can we start with the very beginning, which is when you discovered what I was doing with regards to Soul Pleaser? How were you feeling back then, and why were you drawn to come onto that first webinar that I did about my Soul Pleaser program?
Well, Soul Pleaser was almost like it was sent to me from the gods of the universe. I was so grateful to come across Soul Pleaser online. I am a really positive person, thank goodness. So of course there was and always will be some really wonderful things and moments, but I did have a lot personally that I was going through at that time, and I was just about to embark on opening up my own home studio so I could do hairdressing again from home. And basically that was going to allow me to work around everything else that I had going on in my life that I needed to work around. So I was actually feeling exhausted and lost and a bit unhappy, and I kind of felt that although I was giving everybody my everything, I just wasn't quite cutting the cake. So basically I ended 2016 knowing that I was never going to live another year like that again. And I guess Soul Pleaser came up for me, and I just knew that I needed to commit and make that decision to really focus on who I was and then be able to lead by example from there.
Fantastic. That's so beautiful, Carla. And when you went through the program, what were the transformations for you? How did things change for you as a result of working through that program with me?
Well, probably one of the biggest things was that I really learned that I couldn't pour from an empty cup. So when I was burnt out and exhausted and I'd started to actually resent some of the people that I held most, closest and dearest to me, because I was just so busy being for everyone else that I'd completely lost myself. So through doing the Soul Pleaser, I've experienced so many changes personally and mentally and physically and spiritually and professionally and I guess overall in my life, but that's had such a positive flow on effect into my family's life as well. So I guess at the end of the day, I really got to know who I was, and I got comfortable with making myself a priority, and then I was just hooked. I just loved the new Soul Pleaser way of life.
And one of those things, as you mentioned, you've improved both mentally, spiritually, professionally, and physically. You had a profound change physically as a result of finding out who you are and making yourself a priority. Can you share the physical change that you've experienced as a result of that?
Yes, of course. So I guess as a hairdresser, I'm very social, and I do love food and being out and amongst everything else. So when I was busy at work, one of the things that I neglected the most was my health, and I really got a different mind connection with health through doing Soul Pleaser and all of the training that I've done. And really, I got so comfortable with being, you know, I guess allowing myself the time, knowing that I was worthy of that time to put into myself and my health. So by doing that, all of a sudden I wasn't looking at food from a dieting and restrictive point of view. I was looking at it really on how I felt, and the better that I felt, the more I had to give to everyone else. So and I guess the more I got into it, you know, you just feel so much better all round. And I lost 16 kilos that year, which is just so exciting. And I guess really I did it without dieting madness and overwhelm. So yay.
That is such an amazing result. And it's so interesting because a lot of people, when they think about needing to lose weight, they go straight for the doing. But part of what you learn through the Soul Pleaser program is that really our results come from who we are being. So you made that shift of being a soul pleaser rather than a people pleaser. And as a result, you were able to easily transform your body, which losing 16 kilograms is absolutely amazing. And then you came to me as a result of feeling so amazing and being on this high of being a soul pleaser and living your life that way, that you said, I feel like there's more. Can you remember that conversation that we had and how you were feeling at that time, that you were ready for the next step?
Yes, most definitely. I was like I'd absorbed all this information, and I felt so fantastic. And I just was like, every woman needs to know this, you know, what's next for me. And I remember saying to you, I feel so extremely called to step up and do something with this information and what I've you know experienced and the shifts that I've had and what I now know. So thankfully through that purposed prosperity came about, and I was sign me up and let's do this.
Yeah, it was just a natural progression. So when I started the Soul Pleaser program, I didn't know that I'd end up developing another program as well. But what happens, I believe, is that if we're living our lives based on what we think we should do, trying to keep other people happy, you know, doing things because people will like us, we lose what we came here to do. We lose that sense of our true calling. And so when we shed all of that and we tap into our own wisdom, one of the side effects is that we discover our purpose. And so we discussed with, you know, Carla and I, we talked about exactly what your story is and how your life has progressed so far and what you're good at and what you feel called to do, who you understand. And as a result, through doing the Purpose Prosperity program, you are now ready to launch your new business. So I'd love you to share a little bit about your business.
So I'm launching a new business called Her Mastery is the New Black, and basically, you know, I've designed this and specifically created this as a platform to empower hairdressers. So I've been in the hairdressing industry for over 20 years, and I love the industry so very much. But I feel like there's a lot of hairdressers that face really similar struggles and situations, both personally and professionally. And I just felt really, you know, I guess honored to now have the opportunity that I can stand up and share what I've learned and hopefully, you know, start a new movement amongst hairdressers right across Australia, that we can, you know, look and feel our best. And by doing that, we are actually offering our clientele so much more value.
Absolutely. And it's just so exciting for you to be able to help hairdressers make this shift. And Carla, can you let hairdressers know who might be watching this video how they can find you?
Yeah, of course. So I have a Her Mastery is the New Black Facebook page, and our Instagram page is up and running. So you can find me through both of those. We also have a Her Mastery for Hairdressers group. So that's specifically for hairdressers. And basically, you know, over the time, there's a lot to come. We're just scratching the surface of launching Her Mastery is the New Black. But you know, my mission is to empower women to reclaim their power over their health, their mindset, and their life. So we're going to be looking at the things that have led them to their current circumstances, and what's going to help them shift and move forward from there. We'll be covering a lot of self-mastery sort of things, like, you know, understanding their mindset and who they are on a soul level, and everything that lights them up. We'll be covering a lot of salon specific topics in there as well, with energies and frequencies and boundaries that we put, I guess, on ourselves, and we ultimately do have control over that. And as we've just discussed, Tracy, health and body image is a really important part of that, and an aspect that a lot of hairdressers really look over. You know, we're in a relationship business, but we often forget that one of the most important relationships is one we have with ourselves. So I'm really, really excited for Her Mastery is the New Black, and I would love, yeah, everyone to tag their hairdresser or share the Her Mastery is the New Black page, so that we can get this out there and help as many hairdressers to feel wonderful as we can.
Such a great cause, Carla, because for all of you women who are watching this who are not a hairdresser, I bet you have a hairdresser, and we can't live without our hairdressers. So we really need to make sure that they're taking care of themselves so that they can keep taking care of us and our hair. So beautiful, Carla. I'm so excited and so happy for you. And I'm just so excited to see you launch. You've got your first webinar coming up in November, is that right?
That's right. So we'll have a series of 3 webinars going live from November, which that will lead into and I guess fill you in on all that's to come when Her Mastery is the New Black goes completely live and launches fully in January of 2019. So the reason it's January 2019 is because I am a hairdresser and I get it, and I know that now it's October, so pretty much between now and Christmas it's just a big old blur, and we're so busy getting everyone organized for that Christmas rush that I know you know, hairdressers are not going to really have time to delve into this and give it the time that it needs until January. So I'm being kind to you all already and giving you the space to prepare yourselves and be ready to take this on in January, knowing that you can commit to becoming the best version of yourself.
And January is the perfect time to start something afresh because it's the start of a new year. So that's really perfect timing. Thank you so much, Carla, for joining me today. And I'm very excited and so honoured to be a part of your new business. Thank you, Carla.
Thanks so much, Tracy. I've absolutely loved working with you, and I'm so grateful that you've been, you know, my mentor and helping me get this off and running. So thank you so much. Wonderful things ahead.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Tracy.
My pleasure. Bye.
Bye.